Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is the second edition of the Miles and Points Reports, and we're going to be chatting about continuing the conversation from last week and see what's been happening in the Miles and Points world in the last couple of weeks. And today we're going to start off, talking a little bit about, unfortunately for us, with the COVID and stuff, and a lot of people have written emails about that, about our events and stuff, and we're making some decisions about this tomorrow. With the Delta variant going on, it's a little bit of uncertainty out there. Hopefully it'll work out, but it's tough to get people together right now in the hundreds and the tens of thousands at the Travel and Adventure Show. So we'll get back to everybody tomorrow with an announcement on that for the FTU that's coming up in Dallas and things like that. So besides that, there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now, from new airlines starting to fly and new routes and new hotels opening, and a lot of positive stuff out there. While a lot of people are trying to while a lot of people are trying to Jamie, how about scrolling up on your text message from yesterday? It's unbelievable with the kids and technology today. They don't know anything. Let me just get Jamie on board. And we're going to start off talking about the some changes. Last week we covered a lot about the American Express card changes, and we covered a lot about the benefits of the American Express Platinum cards, how it's looking now. Should you do it? Should you keep it? Both Jamie and I agree that we should keep it. But this week it just so happens that Chase Sapphire with the Chase Ultimate Reward did a lot of changes this week. So we're going to chat to Jamie today. We'll chat with Jamie a little bit about the changes to that card, and I see that he's joined. There we go.
Howdy.
Yeah, it looks like you got your lumberjack beard going on there, Sonny.
Yeah, with my Hawaiian shirt.
Good. Hawaiian shirt. Yeah, there you go. I don't know about that shirt. You probably should get one that's a little better quality than that. How about that?
Hey, it's Tommy Bahama.
Yeah, okay. There we go. So we chatted 2 weeks ago about the changes to the Amex card, and actually, in the meantime, I was charged the $700 or $699 or $695 that they charge annually for that card in the meantime. And now, I see that the Sapphire Reserve is coming up for renewal also. So in the meantime, we've seen some changes to that. And what's the USA Today version of the changes to the Sapphire cards?
So right now they've basically changed up some of the category bonuses you can earn on. They're trying to encourage folks to book through their travel portal, kind of similar to how Amex does it with their Fine Hotels. So basically, encouraging folks to get 5X on hotels and airlines and whatnot through the Chase portal. There is a 3X. I'm just looking at my list here. 3X on dining now, 3X on streaming. 3X on groceries. That's for the preferred reserve.
Right.
And then on the reserve, there's a 10 points per dollar on Chase dining. 10 points.
Wait, let's stop that. What's Chase dining? What is that? Explain to people what Chase dining is. Do you have to call the
way
the bank?
I interpret it, I've never actually did anything through this, but their sort of open table of restaurants through Chase, right? If you book and pay through that, my understanding is that's where you're getting the 10X. So it's like a Resi or an open table or some sort of a similar concept. Because Amex just introduced a partnership with Resi. So my understanding is that it's sort of a competitor, if you will, to that.
Right. So it's like an open table. You've got to book through that. And if you don't book through that, then it's
Amex just introduced a partnership with Resi. So my understanding is that it's sort of a competitor.
I think we lost Jamie here. Jamie, you got to do a refresh.
Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you. All right. So meaning that you can't just go to a restaurant and just pay and get 10X. That's not the story.
book through their portal, which, you know, oftentimes, as we know with these other cards, that's really.
Did you try it? Should we give it a live try and see how it actually is, or how do we want to? Yeah. So what's this portal called?
Chase Dining. I'm guessing you get to it through the.
No, just what's the name of the booking service? I read about it earlier, but I know that you know more about this than I do.
Which one? The Chase one?
The Open Table or whatever it's called.
Oh, Resi is the one that Amex is using.
Well, okay, so let's go to. I have a. Let's see. I have let's see. Where do we have here for the? We have here we go. So 10x for the dining, which really is not 10x. We're gonna so it's changed dining. Let's go through that. So the review here says that talk is what it's called. So you can use your ultimate reward points and that kind of stuff. But let's try in my my area where I am. So I'm going to put my zip code in there. What do we have going on in my neighborhood? One restaurant downtown Sacramento. So 20.3 miles away. And also in Sacramento, there's one place. So the 10X is just BS from one end to another. It's absolutely pointless. There's no need to do that at all. It's not an interesting gig at all. And so it's pretty much 3X, right? Which the gold card from American Express beats the crap out of that for a lot less money.
Correct, with 4X.
Right. Yeah. So what about the lounges? Let's talk a little bit about the loungers, because we've seen that I saw an announcement by Airport Dimensions, which is our friend Collins, and that runs the club lounges. And the club lounges are, it's not like something to do cartwheels over, but it beats the hell out of sitting in the terminal. But it looks like to me that they're going to be opening. The first one's opening up in development, meaning that we don't know when it's going to open, but probably fairly soon, is Hong Kong. It doesn't say what terminal, where it's going to be at. LaGuardia, what's available in LaGuardia? What area would that be? Would that be the old, where that old TWA, or what was it, U.S. Airways Lounge? There was something going on over there.
They closed the American Lounge when American moved over. I'm wondering if they're moving into that space.
Maybe somebody has an insight and can post in the comments. Either Kathy or both, either one of the Kathys have the terminal. The American terminal at LaGuardia is which I don't fly American too much in and out of LaGuardia. Which terminal is American at, Jimmy?
American is now at, what is it? Terminal. What is it? Is it
B? Terminal B.
B.
So,
I was going to say B. Yeah. It's either B or.
But that means that it's still in the system where you have to go through security to get there. It's been a while since I actually flew into LaGuardia. Do you remember? So is it only for American flyers though? Because it used to be back in the day, the American Lounge was at the pier where American was, and it was after security. So if you wanted to visit there, I mean
I think this is after. Well, so here's the kicker of this whole thing. So the funny thing is, right, you've got Amex with these Centurion lounges and all that, and you need a Platinum or Centurion card to get in. The crazy thing about these Chase lounges, I don't know if you saw this, is that you essentially just need a priority pass card to get in there. So it's a Chase lounge by the club, but you can get in there with your card with the priority. So I don't really understand this concept. Are they trying to woo people over, or I don't know what it is?
I see that Ben is posting here. He's obviously flies American a lot, and he says that Centurion is also Terminal B, which is, so you're going to have two lounges at the same space. Then that's interesting.
Yeah, but who's going to go to this thing?
We don't know. We haven't seen it yet. Do we know what it's going to be though? We haven't seen the concept of it, have we?
No, I mean, at least according to 1 Mile at a Time, it seemed just like your run-of-the-mill club lounge. I didn't gather that it was any spectacular like an Amex It's just
Yeah, well, I would say that the experiences I've had with the American Express lounges lately is not really that impressive. I haven't been able to get into any of them. I mean, like the last one I went to, I was in 45-minute wait, which is the lowest I've seen. I was told you can come back here in 45 minutes and see. And I typically don't have long connections or show up at the airport early, to be honest with you. I'm getting too old for that stuff. And as long as they don't offer better booze than I have at home, I'm out. So,
right.
So I was told both in Phoenix, for all the times I've gone through Phoenix, I haven't been able to access either of the lounges. So it's kind of lame. But it's interesting to see. I mean, everything is good for us. We got more choices, like Ben just said. We definitely have more choices here with the Sapphire. But in all, what do we think of these changes? I mean, there are some minor changes to what's included with this card for sure. But I mean, are we still going to be paying $550 or for this card? I mean, I do think that the DoorDash thing is definitely worth it. I mean, you get getting the free delivery and cutting down on those fees and getting discounts for DoorDash, definitely worth it. We've got the $300, which is like free money. It's literally you just get those back when you buy anything related to Wine Booth Camp. I don't even know what the hell these the points guy's writing about this stuff. It's just
there's a $50 hotel credit now. There's a 10% points back of all the points that you earn.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I think the decision here is going to come between people who own a platinum card and a reserve card, right? The question is whether to keep both. But if the annual fee stays the way it is on the reserve card and doesn't monumentally go up over the next several years, I think that $300 credit you were just mentioning eats up most of it, and that's a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, I think that's as long as that's there. I think that it's if that $300 is there, and it's so much easier. I mean, unless you fly Southwest, how easy is it? And feel free to comment on that, folks out there. How easy is it to use that American Express credit unless you buy cheap tickets on Southwest? And that's obviously
they're impossible. You have to now use it for baggage fees, and who the hell checks a bag anymore, right? Change fees, that's all out the window. So Amex has really kind of bitten themselves in the foot with this $200 ancillary credit, and sure, all found our ways to loop around it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, at the end of the day, they have added. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I do appreciate that I don't have to pay for Peacock anymore. But it seems like, like we talked about 2 weeks ago, it's more of the fact that it's more of a coupon card. You have all these discounts and not everything's for everybody, right? And I feel like, that kind of there are two things that bothers me about Amex is the capacity of the lounges, that there really isn't that much space right now. Hopefully that will work in the future. And when the pandemic has kind of worked itself out, the lounges will be back to normal. But we know that there are going to be restrictions of who gets access. You can't bring any guests anymore. A lot of people bring their families, and for them, it's a great deal. It's Jamie was lost. So hang on, I've got to get him back in here. So I feel like the Sapphire is kind of solid with that $300 at the bottom. They literally just credited right off the bat. Are you? Do you have the Sapphire Reserve? Are you going to be keeping it?
I'm an authorized user, so
same as me. So we have Melinda has one, and I have the other. I have the Platinum American Express, and Melinda has the Reserve. So what are the sign-up bonuses? What are we seeing now? 100,000.
I think the preferred
has 100,000 after $4,000. Yeah. I mean, there's some serious balance. That's a really good way to beef up your balances. I haven't had the Reserve. I remember Marshall Jackson and myself. We had if we paid with the Reserve right after it. We have a legendary picture from like 2015 or whatever when we met in Paris, and we both chunked down the preferred. 100,000 miles. That's substantial, and it's it has improved, but it's just not. I wouldn't say that it's it's all this whole it's 3x for dining for sure, and that's.
I mean, here's the thing. I kind of prefer Chase points over Amex points, even though I think Amex is a little easier to get. Right? Chase points, you can grab Hyatt, so and BA and all that. I mean, sure, you can do that with Amex too, but I think Chase points are a little more valuable.
I don't think that transfer. Have you ever transferred over Amex or Hyatt points over to Chase points over to Hyatt?
Oh yeah, all the time. You don't do
Why?
that?
Why is that a good deal instead of transfer? I mean, I've been flying across the Atlantic on KLM and Air France and business class, always available for 52,000 miles from LA. Isn't that a better use of the points?
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's a better use of it, but I mean, I've used it. I've transferred over for the Park Hyatt Vendome. I transferred a bunch for this Ventana Big Sur. I mean, I don't know. You still get decent value out of it.
Yeah, I just think that, a round trip ticket to Europe easily available on Air France and business class is, 104,000 miles round trip. That's to me feels like it's $5,000-6,000 from the West Coast, and it's just so much. But yeah, obviously the Chase, I would say that both of those currencies are good. It all depends on each individual, right? How each individual, how your travel habits are.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it's, we see that people are flirting with American Airlines. You can now transfer from, what is it, Capital One City. Over like a trial that they're doing there. I mean, that's like a dead end to punch your miles over there. That's like almost like buying them. Jeez, Lou. I mean, it's unless you want to pay $700 in fees, Yeah. All right, Jamie. So what do we say? Do we keep the Sapphire Reserve or?
I say strategy number one is get to be an authorized user with someone else, mooch off of their benefits. Mm-hmm. I think aside from that, as long as that $300 credit is still there,
absolutely,
the annual fee stays where it is. I don't see a reason to get rid of it. But as soon as
I agree. And also, don't you have access to those restaurants also with the Priority Pass restaurants still with?
You do, but I mean, I don't really use them that much. There was one in DCA. The wait was always out the door. I've used it at Bobby Van's at JFK and Terminal 8.
San Francisco has a couple of places, and I mean, San Francisco, that must be one of your favorite places, right?
I was in San Francisco 4 weeks ago.
There you go. So, well, I say we keep it for now. I say we keep it for now, even if the fee stays. But if they start following after Amex, I think that we're on the borderline for both of these guys right now.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Jamie. As always, with the credit cards, and maybe next time we read a little bit more up on the benefits of these new things. All right, thanks, Jamie. All right, Michael, how you doing? Oh my goodness, I thought you had fiber optics from
what?
From Google.
What's wrong?
You look like you're filming it through a potato. Your face is like all pixelated.
I don't know. It looks fine to me.
Oh, it does, huh? All right, maybe it's.
So I'll see it on one of my other screens. Yeah, so, I am all pixelated. I don't know what's going on. I don't.
Yeah, it's probably. I told you should have gotten AT&T. It's the American Airlines of internet connections you got there.
Obviously.
All right, so we talked last time about status extension, and nothing had happened again, and then all of a sudden, Delta just literally dropped the bomb on extensions and stuff, right? That is, that was a big gig there. That's a big doo-doo already. Were you expecting that?
I actually stopped thinking a lot about it, to tell you the truth, just because a lot of the status conversations I don't find to be that interesting. But I mean, it's a very interesting thing. I mean, my personal opinion, which is probably not a popular opinion, is that extending statuses doesn't really make a lot of sense,
right?
To me personally, I don't think it's really necessary. Quite frankly, I don't really think it drives them that much more business and loyalty. I mean, I know in our echo chamber that people tend to scream about that kind of thing.
Right.
But really, let's take a road warrior who's Atlanta based, or somebody who flies Delta a lot. I mean, they're going to still keep flying Delta, even if they don't extend it. Though I think maybe, part of the issue is that nobody's been creative. It's all of this like all or nothing. Either we just extend the status or we don't extend the status.
Leading up till now, they've been kind of creative. I think I'm looking at Delta, for example. I did match with them and I did qualify for platinum with them. And I see now that, you get more when you fly. You get like double up or 50% more. I don't remember exactly what the numbers are, but it racks up, and they also give you when you redeem as well, you earn elite qualifying miles as well. So I would say that there's a little bit, but I think that Mark Ross Smith who's a really smart guy who's in the BIS with us, and we were commenting back and forth a little bit on LinkedIn about that, which is the portal for us old geezers who do business every once in a while, for those kids who are on the TikTok or on the is it called the thing where you just talk with each other, like Clubhouse. Yeah.
I forgot that.
I was listening into one of those. It's just it's like talking with your buddies. It's kind of cool, but it's very time consuming. More stuff to do. But anyways, I did listen in on Henry is on there. Ben is on there with his Hyatt stuff. And who else? Oh yeah, Andy Luton, our photographer buddy. He's pretty good on that stuff. But anyways, I was talking to Ross Smith about that, and he was like, they made a big mistake giving it away for free right now. And he makes a little bit of sense here. I mean, but I feel like the issue that they're seeing, the risk that you're taking at this point is that you don't want people to become more of a free agent than they already are. So there are a lot of opportunities now to change your tune and to go out and flirt with that blonde across the, if you're used to being in one swamp in Atlanta and you go to another swamp in Dallas, I don't know what the big difference between the two is. Obviously, one airline's on time and the other one's not. But we agree that there's going to be a lot of major change between statuses between airlines. There is an opportunity now. I'm not talking about the miles and points hackers, because the consensus here is that we want to try and get as many I made my American status. Now I'm going to fly Delta until I get status there, instead of like, okay, so you earned it. Why don't you enjoy it? That's kind of, the older you get, that's kind of there. But I feel like
I think Mark Ross Smith makes a lot of good points. It's interesting to see what Emirates is doing this week, right? Which isn't directly status, but we're being able to buy these different package levels of benefits.
Yeah, we're going to discuss that. Marshall and I are going to touch on that later, but let's get some thoughts on that. It's not really new and revolutionary. It's been done before, and United is offering. First of all, this market is very different. So here it's based on that you pay for a membership in the lounges at United, American, Alaska, and Delta. Right. So it's you have a membership there, and it's very lounge heavy, this offering that Emirates has.
Because the different benefit levels give you a certain amount of lounge access. Mm-hmm. But that's been one of the things that I've been critical about with a lot of programs, is that all of these like all or nothing kind of benefits. Like I think Amex made a huge mistake with this silliness of the families and the changes, which are still not till 2022.
Right.
I think what you should be giving everybody is a certain amount of access, and when they exceed that access, then they either have to spend more to get more. So give everybody, I don't know, let's make up a number, 25 passes a year with your Amex Platinum card to get into the Centurion Lounge. Now, if you're the guy who doesn't travel that much and you're taking a vacation once a year and you have your 12 kids, I mean, maybe you're, with you, and you want to get 12 people into the lounge, that's fine. You get 25 passes a year. If you're, if you're a guy who flies every week solo, that's 25 weeks that you can visit. Make it so that everybody can be pleased. You don't have to.
Yeah.
This unlimited idea is silly to me. I don't understand why we need to do things that
I
are
completely
unlimited.
agree. I mean, I think normally for not miles and points hackers, but I think for the majority of people that travel, they have a job. They go to this job and they save their points and they're saving their stuff. And when they are traveling for work, then work pays for everything. You expense everything that you do, and you don't need the free breakfast at the hotel. It's not that important at that point, but it's important when you're traveling with your I saw that, Ben went, we keep coming up back to Ben, who's in the comments here, from Ben's Big Deal. And he was traveling to Chicago. You go on your vacation and you want to bring your family with you into the lounge. And for the other times, it really isn't that important that you have that lounge access when you're in a meeting in Minneapolis and you're going there for the day and you got 20 minutes at the airport. Who cares if you get a bottle of water?
Well, the thing about the lounge is only valuable to you then.
Right, exactly.
If you fly American Airlines, but it's if you fly American Airlines and the flight's going to be delayed or canceled. It's
right,
nice
that's
to be
true.
able to go into the lounge
and American flyers,
so if you're a business,
you're right. American flyers need lounges more than anybody else for sure.
I could see a business person, if you travel to, having access, to a lot of people that I've spoken to. I've heard people say to me, the Admirals Club is more important to me because I need access for the rebooking on the flight. I need the service. It doesn't do me any good if I'm in the Amex lounge and AA says it's canceled and I got to now run to an Admirals Club or get on the phone. So I mean, it's a realistic thing for people to say, but I think all programs should give everybody the opportunity to get love once a year. You see, that's the problem in our world of mileage hackers. People are checking they've got alerts set up on Expert Flyer. They're getting alerts from other people. People are saying, hey, look, there's Emirates award availability now in first class. I got an alert, I think, from Spencer about that yesterday. But we're dialed into it. But the thing that's relatively unfair is that, loyalty is sold to the mass market. They say, get this credit card, get 100,000 points, be loyal to us, and then take your family to Hawaii or take your family somewhere else. And we all know it can happen. So my sort of counter to that argument, and I've mentioned this to one or two people, is let everybody have like a joker a year. Let everybody be able to redeem easily once. You only need to do one, unless you're a super high value customer. Maybe you get more of them, but it's brilliant. That's one thing that BA always did with Gold Guest List with the jokers. What a great benefit.
Get out of jail free
cards.
That's
a high end benefit. But to say to people, what, once a year you can have up to 5 people on a reservation, and we'll give you the award availability.
Right.
Wow.
And I love that sentiment. I also love there's a monster thread in the Marriott what is it called? The Bonvoy Insiders Facebook group today. A monster thread about resort fees. And it's the same thing. And that's where I think that Hyatt is just a phenomenal job, and also to an extent Hilton, but Hyatt is obviously the gold standard. Hilton has followed suit. And there's enormous pressures now in Marriott. When you are finally bringing your family to go somewhere, get a break from all the junk fees. Get rid of those freaking resort fees that are there. Get rid of the destination city bullshit fees that exist around here. It's just people. It really is annoying to people that you have that, and it couldn't be more clearer. I think it was somebody up in the Marriott system said that, people would like to have that because it adds so much value. It's like, yeah, find me one person that said that.
Well, look at some of the rates in Vegas are so absurd. So the new Conrad at Resorts World is running a base rate special of $119. And the taxes and fees are $66.
Oh, wow.
So basically,
that's out of control.
You add $66 in taxes and fees, because remember, the resort fee is $45. The resort fee has tax, and then you've got the regular tax. It's absolutely absurd, the taxes and fees, and it obviously is exagerated more so in Vegas because the rates really dip, and the resort fees are. There are properties in Vegas where the room rate is $20 and the resort fee and taxes is $38.
Right.
I mean, it's like it's a joke, but I agree with you.
So let's see here.
There's
we're going to talk a little bit more about status extension. So United, they kind of did a little bit of a different gig, right? So let's Here we go. So they did. You have to fly a little bit. You just have to fly less, right? And it's more about maintaining level instead of skip jumping up to the next level. So if you think that you're going to, oh, hang on, this is the wrong article. This is from last year. They did, let's see, I did have a window open here. I don't really think we need it. We have the gist of the promo anyways. So United, they literally decided they were going to maintain people at the level with very little flying and very little spent. But you can't jump up to the next level. So it's not like you can climb up the ladder or anything, which is kind of the same at Delta, but at least there's something connected to it. American, what did they say? I don't think they have done anything. They still have that. You only have to spend 15 grand on their credit card, right? And that's it, all that you need in order to be executive platinum. So yeah. I wasn't going to renew because the only reason I had it is because they gave it to me via Hyatt. I had it back in the day when it was the good airline, but now I decided to put an event on the American credit card when that comes up. So I'll have it for another year. But so I guess that's probably what the American is probably not going to do anything, right?
Probably, yeah. And I don't think British Airways has announced. I've stopped following. Well, the British Airways, it doesn't really matter so much. Well, it matters on your year. My year for British Airways ends in July,
right?
And my status is good till August. So they extended my August 21 to August 22.
Got it.
So the mindset is so different with because you have the different variable years within British Airways. To me, well, it's not ending in January. So it's not like we're getting near January, right? We're not saying, oh, it's August. January is going to be here and I'm going to have no status. For me on British Airways, I don't lose my One World Emerald status until next August. So it's not really close to me. But there are people that are closer. So that's, I thought, honestly, one thing I thought British Airways should have done is use this as an opportunity to reset and put everyone on a January to December basis. Because I think everybody with different status year extensions is I don't know. Have you ever heard of any reason why that makes sense? To tell you the truth,
we're just gonna have to wait and see. I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's all the psychology now. Things have just changed. Interest for anything that we do has just changed dramatically in the last 2 to 3 weeks. We've talked about this offline, you and I, before. It's just people have lost the interest in things. They don't want to meet. What was the word that somebody used yesterday? People who are vaccinated, which is now over 70% of the 18 plus population. They don't want to meet. They don't want to travel again. It feels like people are taking it off, and we're seeing that with Maxa Tours too. And people are like, "Hey, can I go next year?" I don't feel too comfortable with all the spread necks out there right now. So it's very. It feels like it's off, and that's probably, and we talked about this 2 weeks ago, the airlines are not seeing a lot of bookings in the fall. They're not seeing very much business traffic. I mean, we're doing our loyalty summit at the end of September 30th in DC, but besides that, there's very little appetite for anything, feels like right now.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. It'll be interesting. I'm interested to see what happens with Vegas in the fall because there are a couple of big events.
Well, Vegas, they've started to change things now. They've started to don't they have a mask mandate now?
Mm-hmm. Mask mandate is back in not just Vegas but all of Nevada. So
interesting.
Yeah, and that's here to stay. And the G2E, the big conference for gaming, where they show all the new slot machines, and table games, and all technology for gaming business. They sent out a directive this week. That conference, off the top of my head, is not until October. And they sent out a directive saying that everyone coming to the conference has to wear a mask, which I thought was interesting because I thought between now and October, it could change in Nevada. But I guess they just decided they're going to do it for the conference. Maybe that's helping them with
I think it has to do with getting speakers and getting people to attend, getting the big names to come. They don't want to take any chances, or people don't want to, even if they're vaccinated, they don't want to get it and give it to somebody who's not, and be responsible for somebody that might lose their lives. So, but anyways, thanks so much for stopping by, Michael, and we're gonna get in.
Always a pleasure.
And
I'll have to figure out why the video was weird this time because it looks fine.
I think that it's your crappy internet there. For 1 gig for $90 is probably what it is.
Yeah, it
You
is.
better
I
call
gotta
that
go.
guy, the Google guy, and ask him what's going on.
Yeah, I'm
We'll
gonna
see you
do
in a
that.
couple
I'll
of
check.
weeks, Michael. Cheers.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
All right, so Mike, yeah, we got Marshall coming in. We're going to do now the most fun part of the thing here. I see that he's in here. He's coming to us from North Carolina.
Rural Eastern North Carolina.
Wow, is that scary or?
No, it's where I grew up.
Well, you're a tough guy, also. Remember, that's why you got that funny accent. I have my Norwegian accent, and you have your Eastern rural North Carolina accent.
That's right. I'm looking out the front window now. I see tobacco fields and 6 silos.
Wow, people still they still make tobacco, really? I mean, Michael is a big smoker. He's a big smoking advocate there. So yeah, thanks for joining. We're going to talk a little bit about what's happened in the last couple of weeks, and I think we want to start with Jetblue. Jetblue going across the Atlantic, and that's kind of exciting. Finally,
that was exciting. That's a nice new product in the transatlantic market, I think.
Right, and I hope that Zach Hoenig is watching or that he sees it later. It's really good to see him back at reviewing airlines again, because I mean, boy, is he a terrible hotel. I was expecting him to make JetBlue land in Iceland so he can hop off early. He had another hotel review that he had from Hawaii at the AC Hotel, where he for 2 out of 4 hotels he's walked. He's just left the hotel early because he didn't like what he saw. So I would thank God JetBlue got away with it. So, but that this is a piece of work of a review. You got to get there. So it's the AC by Marriott Wailea, which is a cheap alternative, I guess. Right now, every hotel in Hawaii is kind of it's a little bit. It's a little bit overpriced. I don't have to be a genius to figure that one out.
No doubt. Oh, I think we lost Tommy.
Not sure what happened there, but I might have. I think that we lost everything here. Let's see if we can get Marshall back online. In the meantime, let's see. In the meantime, let me get the screen back up here. There we go. Not 100%. I think maybe I think that might have been my fault, actually, that what just happened here. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about JetBlue. Good write up by Zach. He's a really good airline reporter. And it looks like JetBlue are really pulling out all the stops. And even in economy, it looks like a really good gig.
Oh, absolutely. Look at that leg room.
Yeah, no kidding. I was just really shocked about the leg room. And then you could order food from your seat. The food actually looked very stellar.
It did.
Let's see here from all the bragging and flags and blah, blah, blah. I was first. You were not. I am so cool. You are not. Let's do that first. And then we get, there's Richard Quest was on the flight too. How about that? All right. So let's do the food, because look at that. Look at that amenity kit there for Coach. That is that's pretty solid.
Yeah, you won't get that on your favorite airline across the Atlantic. We all know it's AA.
All right. Okay. Yeah. And then, the Casper, they seem to be ghosting everybody with the Casper these days, American Airlines. They're not even giving out any stuff anymore. But it seems like personalized stuff here on the seats, if you're in the seats you're supposed to be. I like it that they have USB-C in here, so you can actually get some speed on that charging.
Yep.
That is cool. Internet, free of charge, 30 megs. Wow, that's
amazing.
Nice. And then also they've gotten dig in to cater the meals. And it looks like you order from the screens and then you get these. And I hope they're recyclables, or recyclable. And starter and what is that? Something in the middle. They had ice cream at the end. That's solid for it. So we were talking about a 7-hour flight. So not even Hawaii here, right?
No, I think that's an excellent presentation.
Yeah, I think that they did a good job. And, the only thing that they have is obviously the performance of JetBlue is extremely dependent on JFK because it's their main hub. And
Sure.
JFK just beats the hell out of your operations for any airline. But looking at the prices that they have, you can get to Europe for taxes plus $100 one way, which is not bad.
Nope, not at all.
So we're going to have to try it out. You and me and Coach on JetBlue to London, huh?
Yeah, we'll need the empty seat in between us.
Yeah, I think so. Or there would be that poor bastard who's going to sit in the middle.
Yeah.
He's going to turn into a diamond.
Yeah, nobody ever nicknamed me Tiny even before I began suffering from middle age spread.
Right. So speaking of, it's good that we're seeing the competition now, and the market hasn't really gone back to normal. So you're going to see a lot of discount stuff. But we've got our friends over at Norwegian, or Norse, what they're called now. So what's interesting with them, they're going to use 787s, and they're going to use the 787s from Norwegian.
It is, and that the Norwegian transatlantic product or the airline didn't work out so well, but I guess the pandemic probably sealed their fate. We'll see how the second iteration of Norwegian does. Yeah,
I think that there are a couple of things which happened there, and I'm of course biased. Bjorn Schulz is a good friend of mine, and I just absolutely, as an Air Force pilot. This guy's in his 70s working his pants off, and it's just a really good guy. But he's also a little bit stubborn, and we've had many debates about, he didn't start off, he didn't even want a loyalty program, and he changed his mind after a while, and he came up with Norwegian, and the issue was that he made it so simple that it bit them in the ass in the beginning of the pandemic when they were in financial issues and problems, because every single flight you can redeem. And earning Norwegian points is extremely light. We're talking my earning rate with the credit card that I had here in the US with priority boarding and free bags and everything, or what I don't remember, everything that was included, was like 14.7% on average I got back from my tickets, which is insane when you think about any. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Yeah. It doesn't work. I mean, there's breakage and all that kind of stuff, but at the end of the day, it's fine. But what they've done, and I assume looking at the numbers, so they're going to be starting up late this year or early 2022, it says, right?
Right.
They are doing Oslo, London, Paris to New York, LA, and Fort Lauderdale. So they're doing the most profitable of the ex-Norwegian routes. So Norwegian flew a lot of places. They flew Denver, they do Austin, Chicago, many, many, many places. And it was, a lot of those routes are very seasonal, right? So
sure.
It's Norwegians don't, or Europeans don't know any better. Going to Florida in the middle of summer is something that they actually do. I mean, as people know that, Europeans are very tied to their set vacations in the summer. It's not like us that we take it out when we want, when it's important to us. But it's aggressive. 15 airplanes out of the 35 that Norwegian had flying. That's a substantial amount, and it's a very seasonal market. But LA was very profitable, and so they're doing Oslo, London, and Paris. They're not doing Spain. They're not doing Italy, Amsterdam, not Sweden, not Denmark. They're just going for taking the core out of what was profitable for the routes, which I personally have seen the information and the numbers from that, and they've taken the tenderloins out of what was profitable.
Well, hopefully they will be successful. The one thing I didn't read ahead on this, and I apologize, is like, do they have to get recertified, or are they using Norwegian's old certificates? I'm not really clear how the business is structured. I've seen some complaining from the unions.
Yeah, the unions. I think that they already got the paperwork sorted out. I'm not 100% sure, but okay. I think I saw an article about that. So I think that's out of the way. But yeah, I think they're a great disruptor. It's not for everybody, for sure. But it's a way to get, from $200 from New York to Heathrow or to Gatwick. And, it's also we need them in the space in order to have competitions.
Absolutely.
And so I see that Kathy said a good point here. The taxes, obviously, the best tax airport is Oslo, and the second best is Paris, and then the last is obviously London. But Gatwick is so the luxury tax is has an impact on it. But I think for the upgrades, not 100% if you have to pay it. I don't know how that works, the strategy on that. Either. But I mean, I'm expecting them to show up with the same interior as Norwegian had, the same gray seats. They're going to have instead of that, they're going to take the Frank Lorenzo approach to it. And then they're going to just take off of the red, what do they call the one for your headrest there? The headrest covers. They're going to take off the red ones and they're going to put a blue on instead. That's going to be the new product. So no, we wish them best of luck for sure. They had no issues raising the money, and the mess that
a lot of free money out there right now.
Yeah, there is. Not from you and me, but there are a lot of people we know that has a lot of moolah hanging around. So, did you check your mom's mattress, by the way? Is there any in there? If there is, I don't think either of us would put money on anything like this. I don't think that's unless you have the ability to lose them. So, but we definitely wish them the best of luck. So, well, let's talk a little bit about the Emirates announcement. So, Emirates came out with, and it's our friend James Curry who. Really, they've got some smart guys working at Desert, friends of ours, and he's been working on the it's not on purpose. It's our friend Andrew Kunesh again, or Kunesh, or whatever how you pronounce it. I think that it was never the intent of Emirates to come out and make this membership compete with status or credit cards. Emirates just launched a credit card right before the pandemic here in the United States. Right. And which the best one includes high status with them and a fast way to get it. But boy, has this it's the future of loyalty. Skyward Let's Travel is bought. The only thing that is right about it, the value is just not 100% there if you don't fly Emirates a lot. I think that's sure. And I've checked with them. It's actually stackable. So if you do have status with Emirates, you can buy these packages and get 20% bonus miles on top of the bonus mile you get with status and other things. So
and some lounge access.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, this is, and he's completely wrong. This is nothing new. We've seen this before. We saw TAP, for example. TAP has their program that's been around for a couple of years. They got a fast track you get Starline Silver, which is a hell of a lot more valuable than anything else, which that one will more infringe on status levels and things like that. But at the end of the day, not really that much. I think that Emirates has found a really good balance of what's included in this packages. I think they should have been a couple of bucks, $100 less, because 2 business class lounges for $400 a year. I don't know.
That seems a little high. The other packages may be closer, but with more lounge access. But this is really no different. Well, the offerings are, I suppose, but you had mentioned earlier the Economy Plus subscriptions at United. I don't know if they still do them or not, to be honest.
They actually do. They're still for sale. They don't have the same packages as before, but Mr. Kunesh here, he needs to go back to school a little bit, because this is the the unbundling and for people without status. That was like 2011 when that started. And you have credit cards are infringing more on status level and has for years. I mean, somebody at the Points Guy is not making that point that whoa, this is the new way to do status. No, it's not. That's credit cards. The balance that we have, and that was important to him, and I've been communicating with them also and talking about this. It's about finding the balance and hitting the notes on more type of customers. I just feel like there's going to be more discounts. They're probably not going to sell as many as they want. The idea is good, but it should be like, a couple $100 $4.99 and $7.99. I feel like the pricing should be on this. What do you think?
I agree. They'll test some price points. If they don't sell many, they may play around with it. But I think you're going to see more things like this in the future from all the airlines.
Right.
I don't know that it's
Tap One.
I'm sorry, Tap One. Same, and I got to put my glasses on to read this. So
there we go. Yeah. So you do get priority boarding, which is a credit card perk with many. I didn't see that in the Emirates one. So that's more infringing on stepping on status customers' feet. You get Star Alliance Silvers at the second level, and you also get a big leap in qualifications and extra miles that you're getting. And also, when you buy it, you get a ton of miles. So it's just
there's some fun stuff in there.
There is.
Make that pretty attractive for some people.
Yeah, I don't think that I like that the airlines are being conscious about not credit cards is just so important, right?
Sure.
And for the revenue for the airline. So that's obviously needs to be the highest priority, higher than anything else. And then secondary elite customers. And, there is a gap for sure. And, looking at they used to have Economy Plus in the lounge, or whatever. They had more things. And under the subscription now, you can see that you do have the United Club membership and the other stuff. So,
right.
So nothing new under the sun, but good ideas. And we like good ideas, don't we?
Yes, we do. And there, you need to, it's a good time to try some new things.
Absolutely. So the last thing we're going to talk about today is we saw Ben write about it. It's good that we see these big guys writing a little bit about trains. So
yeah, I think so too.
Uncle Joe, he is rocking and rolling on the trains, but his train are about as fast as he is. And Brightline is, I do like Brightline. I love the initiative. They're building their own tracks away from between Palm Beach and West Palm and Orlando and Tampa later. And also they're making it, so they can go 125 miles an hour, but 125 miles an hour really isn't super fast. And these are powered by diesel, right? So
they are.
That really doesn't help, but you can stuff more people into these things, and the emission per person is lower than a car or anything else. But at the end of the day, it's still, it's like that dull old kitchen knife that grandma used to have that you haven't sharpened in 30 years versus an AR-15, right? That's compared to that and the high speed trains. But the Texans. They're rocking and rolling, right?
Absolutely. I think the geography of Texas, Dallas, Houston, Austin, San Antonio, there might be that's one of those regional places that in this country high-speed rail might work.
Right.
I'm a fan of the concept. It's never going to be like a European style high-speed rail here, I don't think. I mean, the country's just too big. No. But there are certainly regional applications for it. I think this is one, as is, San Francisco to LA, perhaps. And then
I do think that inner city, what it's called in Europe, but looking at what they're planning on doing in Texas is unbelievable. And they've actually, so it's all down to the freaking lawyers. Why everybody's laughing? Well, another reason why people are laughing at Americans. It's all
America. It's always down to the freaking lawyers.
Yeah, so lawyers, the reason why it's not up and running in Texas already is it's the legal implications we're talking about here. So they're going to use the N700. So the N700, for those who've been in Japan, is the Shinkansen from Tokyo to Osaka and to Kyoto and down that way. And which typically goes about a little bit north of 200 miles an hour. And very comfortable, and you can get from Houston to Dallas what we're talking about here. So you can go from the Brazos Valley Station, which is some university stuff going on there. 50 minutes to Dallas, 30 minutes to Houston, and between the two, we're talking an hour and a half between Dallas and Houston, which is there's no way that that airplanes can compete with that.
Oh, absolutely not. And I'd personally be all over that as opposed to flying or driving, either one.
Right. Yeah, and there it is, the train that they're going to be using. And also the news is that they have chosen they have chosen Texas Central, who is the developer, has chosen the no Mount Fuji. That's for sure, unfortunately. But you do get to see all the steers and queers in Texas. You can see those from the window. And but we're talking that Texas is going to beat the rest of the U.S., including my home state of California, to this is that's embarrassing. I love it that they're doing it, though. I love that they're fighting, and like Texans do, they're tough guys down there. And I just hope that we can take a ride on this train in 2 to 3 years.
You and me both.
Just got to get the legal stuff out of the way first.
Aggressive.
Yeah. All right. What else do we want to talk about? We've got 3 minutes left.
I want to add one thing to the Brightline discussion.
Right.
Until I read that piece from Ben, I had no idea Brightline had shut down due to the pandemic. And it caught me by surprise, to be honest, although maybe it shouldn't have, because speaking from recent experience, Florida is open. And it would seem that there would be some demand for it, but I suppose not. But that was one of the things that caught me by surprise with that article. I like the Brightline concept and the product, and I hope it succeeds.
Me too, absolutely. And they're also thinking about opening up from LA to Vegas is one of the projects that they're doing. But hopefully that the state of California won't allow them to do their diesel ones. They have to do electric, which are both faster and much more environmentally friendly. We got plenty of now that the emissions in California has dropped to fossil fuels is about 40% of the power we use in California now. And I got my air running on full blast, and we've still got plenty of solar power to run the air in my house. So I think that we feel like Brightline is doing a good job, and they are taking cars off the road in Florida, which is great. And I'm looking at Ben's review. I haven't actually read about anybody taking it. It looks really nice. It's got the 1+2 there, and it seems like you're getting lounge access for like $15 extra or something like that for their select service, which is the equivalent.
The price point's attractive.
Yeah, so it looks like Ben is raving about it, and he's a very what is he? He is a very experienced traveler with high standards. So he loves it. That's definitely something that a humble guy like me would be interested in.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to riding.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a wrap for this week, and a couple of interesting things to talk about. Thanks to everybody for joining in again this week. Had a peak of 23 people who wanted to listen to us ramble about. That's kind of crazy. And here we've been doing it for almost an hour. And if you're watching on YouTube, today is August the 12th of 2021. Still in COVID haze, but working through it, and hope everybody's staying safe out there. And we'll see you guys in the next couple of weeks. Are you going to come back in 2 weeks and do the go through the ins and outs? Marshall, what do you say?
You bet.
All right.
Sounds good. I'll even have stronger internet then.
You did better than Traeger's 2 gigabyte speed in Charlotte, but that's also North Carolina. But so same thing. All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Right.
Thanks for joining us.
See ya.
Cheers.